Hey y'all, from Spindle Mountain Mercantile, I am Heather. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi everybody. So, we're doing some deep cleaning today here at the place. And just in case you were wondering, the answer is yes. Yes, you can wash your antique feathered pillows that you bought at an auction in your washing machine. Totally can do that. However, you cannot dry them in your dryer. Come look.
Oh my gosh, what happened?
I washed a feather pillow.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm cleaning it.
It disintegrated, didn't it?
Well, I think I can restuff it. You're welcome. I'm so glad you guys can learn from my mistakes. You tell me that a lot in the comments. Oh, look at this. Oh, my gosh. I didn't even know what happened. My son, he went over to the neighbors because they're tearing wood out of their house. So I'm like, you got to go get the wood. So they go over there. My son comes back in the laundry room door and he's like, oh my gosh, Mom, something broke. I was like, what are you talking about? And like the dryer broke, and I look, and the whole entire glass was full of feathers. I couldn't believe it. It did so good in the washing machine. I guess, thank God, it didn't happen in the washing machine. I don't know how I'd clean that out. But my sweet husband, he's waxing the floors today, so we had to get out the shark. We found it in a dumpster. Let me see that.
Shark.
Wow. He bought a new battery for it. It works. It's great. It's okay, buddy. Were you afraid? Don't be afraid. He's a good boy. So we've been using that in another vacuum. Got the floor really, really clean out there. I'm going to fix a feather pillow. I saved all the feathers. You know I did. I put them in a big plastic bin, and I'm gonna save that thing. It's like 100 years old, 100 or more. Oh my goodness gracious. This is crazy. Where was I? Oh yeah. In today's video, it's full of mistakes. I have a bunch of stuff that I didn't know what to do with after I got halfway done doing it, working on it. Things that I thought I had great ideas for in the beginning, or I messed up on, or I did something I just wasn't aware of how to do it properly yet. And one thing that just got kind of set aside for a while and I had forgotten about it. And another thing that broke in my shop, so I replaced part of it. Just a bunch of mistakes that I fixed. And now I'm going to make money and feed our family and probably buy floor wax with that money too. Remember what I looked like before today, and then just picture that like supermodel look, and let's move on. Project number 1. Something cool about today's video is I had filmed almost all of these projects and then just stored the footage. So I just went back and found it. And as you can see on the right hand side, this is from when I first started YouTubing, so I didn't realize that my camera holder was in the shot. This coat rack wasn't that bad, but the pictures were kind of wonky and bubbly, so I decided to take them off and do something new. They were so easy to take off, so I'm going to use them in a different project. I used IOD's air dry clay and their mold called Vintage Brooches. I sell IOD in my booth in upstate South Carolina, but if you aren't near me and you want something mailed to you, you can contact my friend Heather at createyourowncozy.com. She has a great selection. Or if you want to shop nearby, you can find a local stockist by going to Iron Orchid's website. I will leave a link to both of those in my description. I always use cornstarch in my new molds, but usually not that much. But it's okay. We're not going to waste anything. I just folded it over twice and put it in all the different places. And usually I'd use a brush. I don't know why I didn't use a brush. Maybe this was when I was still learning. Who knows? those. I just rubbed it in and then I shook some more out. I whacked it on the table to make sure it wouldn't have too much. And I did 4 different molds. I'm only going to show you one. IOD's clay is super pliable, so it's very easy to work with, and so are their molds. Each design has a little rim around the top, and when you rub your hand across it, it's kind of like a knife. It just cuts that clay right off. You can do one design at a time or the entire mold all together. I use Tite Bond Quick and Thick to apply my molds to almost every surface. I didn't have any problem with it adhering very well to this cork. I buy my Tite Bond at Amazon. You can get it at any hardware store though for a reasonable price. I will leave a link in the description. Anything you buy at Amazon from using my link to get there, they will give me a small compensation, but it won't raise your price. I put Quick and Thick on the back of each mold individually, and then I brushed it around to make sure it went all the way out to the edges, and I placed them on one at a time. Use firm, even pressure to make sure they stick, and if any glue comes out the edges, just wipe it up with a brush. Next, I used Haint Blue from Debbie's Design Diary Cottage Color line. I also sell Debbie's in my booth, and I have a link in the description. If you use to purchase online, Debbie will give me a small compensation, but again, it won't raise your price. Because these paints are a 3-in-1, that's base, paint, sealer, they have to be mixed very well. I like to use the submersible blender in the larger cans, but in the smaller cans and jars, I just use this little handheld frother that's rechargeable. I found both of these at Amazon, and I will leave links for them in the description. I painted the entire surface with one coat and let it dry, and then I added a second coat and let that dry as well. I remember when I was making this, I was super excited to try stamps on molds, but I was too afraid. So I got out my trusty old transfers. I'm using Wild Blauman or Wild Bloomin from IOD. This is a great starter pack if you've never tried transfers. It's 8 pages, and these pictures can be used together, so you can make little bouquets, or you can use all these little flowers individually. And that's what I did here. I cut the flowers down to fit and save all those little scraps. You never know when you will need a tiny little piece of IOD. I promise it happens all the time. Make sure your paint is super dry before you apply your transfer. When you get it in place, just give it a little rub with your hand to give it an initial stick. Next, you want to use your transfer stick that came with your IOD book and rub the entire top of that picture. Then use your other hand to carefully pull back one corner of the carrier sheet, and as you do that, rub your transfer stick along the crease where it's pulling up from your object. If some of the transfer doesn't stick, just lay the carrier sheet back down and rub it again. And you might have to repeat that, but if it doesn't stick, it might be because your paint wasn't dry. It took me a minute to remember why I didn't like it like this, because I mean, seriously, it's pretty, and if you guys wanted, you could stop right now. But my personal style is distressed. I love things that are distressed. The problem was I had not yet learned how I could distress both the molds and the part that I'm scraping right now with my scissors. If I do that to the molds, not only will I ruin the molds, but they will just have clay underneath. Fast forward to today where I am scraping this off. I realized I could use black wax. I didn't know how to use it before, and I was terrified of it. So one of my viewers taught me that if you coat something first with clear wax, then when you apply the black wax, you can pull it back. I like how white wax looks on light blue colors, so I used a wax brush to apply the white wax all over the entire project, and then I wiped it off immediately with a clean towel. I waited for it to dry completely, and then I added black wax just to the molds because that's the part I thought I only wanted it on. But when I was done, I liked it so much I went ahead and put that black wax all over everything, and then I wiped it off again. And then, and only then, I was done. I understand there are people out there who do not like the distressed look, and that's okay, you guys. This is one of those beautiful projects that you can stop when you want to stop, where you think it looks good. So if you don't want any distressing, don't do it. I like it, so I did a lot. It might have taken me a while, but here is my finished project ready to go into my booth. Project number 2. Long before Dawn Power Wash was a thing, my mother-in-law taught me to put regular Dawn in a little spray bottle and add water. And that is exactly what I did to this old enamel lid I found, and I don't know where I found it. But knowing me, it was the side of the road, and it was free. I doubt that black mob was ever removed from this lid because it was so greasy and nasty under there. I had to use a scrubby thing to get all of that off. But I'll tell you what, that Dawn soap and water, it worked. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this at the time, but as I was cleaning it, I can remember thinking of someone had put some transfers on one and they hung it on the wall somehow and made a coat rack out of it. So I thought I would try that. I got out my Rose Botanical transfer book from Iron Orchid Designs. This one is fantastic. There are so many different roses in this. It just goes on and on and on for 8 pages. There's some huge ones and there's some little ones. I thought I could find something in between and just put them all over this lid. The transfer adhered very well, but I don't know really how to explain how I went about it because there are so many curves and rounded areas on this lid. I think the best advice is to start in the highest or flattest area possible and work out from there. Now, some places, instead of working out, you might work around and out. Other places, you might work downward. I also cut out darts on this transfer. You know what darts are? If you sew, you cut darts on fabric when you're making like a blouse. You have to have some place for your girls to go. So you cut out like a triangle and then you re-sew those pieces together. And now there's this big pocket for your girls. Or maybe a little pocket for your girls. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. Because I thought it would have coats or something like aprons hanging on it, I did not want to have the transfers scratch off, and I decided to use a clear gloss sealer on it. And I used gloss because enamel is shiny, and I wanted the transfer to look shiny as well. I tried to figure out a way to hang it on the wall so that it wouldn't fall off if somebody put a coat on it, and that's the last thing I remember about it. I lost it until now. I had to go find the lid, actually, put the lid on it, and I was so excited because I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I just had to pray that it would fit. So remember the auction I went to where I got that cervical bed and my husband said there were great tools in it? Yep, that auction. I got these 3 wash pans for $4. I guess nobody wanted it because they think they're old and nasty and all chipped up, but guess what? People will buy these. They will pay pretty good money for them too in my shop. But look at the middle one. I just knew it. Oh, please, dear God, please make it fit. And you know what? I think God was listening because guess what? It fit. I couldn't believe it. It is not the exact perfect fit, but it is fit enough for me. Now all I had to do was get this clean. So I used my mother-in-law's secret power wash recipe, SOS pads, which I wouldn't recommend on good enamel because you don't want it to get scratched. But I mean, look, it's pretty nasty, right? So we're using the SOS pads. And I also used my Sprayway all-purpose cleaner that I get from Amazon. I love this stuff. I swear by it. I will leave a link for it in the description. And that's about when things went south real fast. I decided to add some black speckles to it with gloss spray paint. Yeah, that did not work. I know there's different ways to do speckles, but I just couldn't figure it out. And I thought, you know what? It's good enough. I didn't even have a pan to put my lid on, so I'm just grateful I have it. And I'm just going to clean it back off real quick before that paint dries, and I'm going to leave it as is. So tell me, what do you think? What a score was this? I love it with my flowers in it, but I also love it without anything in it. I did clean it up after I put those flowers in it, by the way. I just did that for display. Project number 3. When I was digging through my stuff in the she shack, I came across this cute little planter that was finished. And I thought, why didn't I put this in my booth? And I could not remember why. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put some plants in it and see what it looks like. I took some pictures of it. And suddenly I remembered why I set it aside. I wonder if you can see it before I tell you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the after pictures and then you can guess. But here's what I did with it. I painted some gold spray paint on it, and then I put this bronze spray paint on it, just in different splotchy areas. Then I painted the whole entire thing with Debbie's Design Diary Apothecary, and I wet distressed it. And since I don't have any more footage, let's just look at the after video, shall we? Y'all, look at this pretty little planter. It's an angel holding a harp, and on the planter part, there are chariots, there's Roman soldiers. I did a really good job distressing this. The gold and the bronze combined are beautiful, and look at her beautiful face. Now I remember. And I swear I didn't remember until I was filming this. I was like, oh my goodness, it's a skull. So what I'm going to do is just add a little more apothecary and then I'll seal it. I'll put it in my shop and this one is done. Tell me what you thought. Project number 4. This one is short and sweet. Have you seen these? They're plate hangers. They are wires that are twisted in all different pretty directions. Kind of looks like a flower. Well, I found this one in my booth with a broken plate and it had scratched some of the wire. I just took it outside and gave it one good coat of Rust-Oleum spray paint in black gloss. I'm not sure why I did not film putting the new plate back in it, but it just slid right in. It's a very universal size, so it's easy to find a replacement plate. And here it is hanging in my kitchen. It is so cute, and these sell very well. Totally worth fixing. Project number 5. This last project is so cute, I'm going to wait until after I show you this to show you him. This is Accelerator with super glue. Have you tried this? It's amazing. I will have a link for it in the description, but I bought mine at Lowe's and it was a lot cheaper there. I bought this little guy a long time ago and completely forgot about him until we were organizing the she shack. His ears aren't connected because shipping, so I just put a little bit of the super glue in. I actually put a little too much, so I wiped a little bit of it off the top, and then I put the ear in, And then I used the accelerator and I just pushed the ear down really fast and it worked. Oh man, this stuff is crazy amazing. Y'all gotta try it. I can swing him around right now by his ear. I cleaned off all of that glue when I was done, but you need to clean it off before it dries. Confession, I did take it outside after I was done with this and I gave it just a tiny little spray of gold spray paint, really shiny metallic spray paint, just to cover up where there was a little bit of whiteness showing from that glue accelerator. But you guys, it worked so good. He was much too majestic to simply hang on the wall, but fortunately I went dumpster diving at the last auction I went to, and I found 2 of these black boards that are used to display things on. If you have been on my channel for longer than one hot minute, then you know that I believe more is more. So of course I'm adding gold gilding to this plain black board. I found the perfect pieces in tinsel. It's an IOD book from Christmas 2024. I started by cutting in half one rectangular frame, and I put one half at the bottom and one half at the top. With other transfers, I like to use the corner to get little tiny bits and pieces down, like if I'm doing florals, but with the gold gilding, you can't do that because if you go outside of the design, the gold that's on the outside part will adhere to your object. So make sure you use just the very flat edge of your transfer stick and hold it evenly and use firm, even pressure. One more thing I want to share about how I do gold gilded transfers. I do not use the carrier sheet to burnish them. I use my fingers and I rub them lightly because I don't want any of the flakes to come off. The rest is just like applying a regular transfer. Don't be afraid of these. They're really fun to use. And because of that, and also because he is just so spectacular, I wanted this little feller to be framed in gold. So I'll let you watch how I picked out the rest of the gold and cut it up so that it would fit perfectly around him. I wanted to make sure that gold stayed shiny, so I sealed it with Rust-Oleum Clear Gloss Spray. I used the same glue and accelerator to attach him to that gilded board, and look how fantastic he turned out. Look at his little monocle with the chain. Oh, y'all, isn't he just too darling? I love it so much.
Hey y'all! I am so grateful you stayed for the end of my video. You know what the cool thing is about making that intro? It's when I just do a little bit, I look so much better. I guess I redeemed myself, right? My husband saw that title and he said, you know, it's kind of like God, except with God, we're redeemed, but we're never forgotten. And I thought, Yeah, half the time I wonder if God's up there going, oh, Heather. Pretty unforgettable, wouldn't you say? Okay, so a couple things. The pan. Where's the pan? I'm gonna go find the pan.
I can't find my big pan.
I found my pan. When my husband proofed my video, he asked what I sealed the bottom part with. I didn't seal it. And he said that I need to put a sealer on this that will keep the rust from coming off and the water from going in. He has a whole bunch of stuff out in his shed. If I can remember later on, maybe when I do the other pans, when I clean them, I'll tell you what he recommended to put on this. So I can tell you something else about transfers on round objects or wavy objects, curvy objects. If you do not like imperfections, don't do it, because it's gonna happen. You're gonna get little hairs and you're gonna have some cracks. I am okay with that, but y'all know I love distressed stuff. And this little guy, oh, can't believe he was forgotten. Crazy, right? I did not get rid of his chains, but I did redeem him. You know what? If you feel like you have heavy chains and your failures are getting the best of you, you need to go listen to the song I Am Redeemed by Big Daddy Weave. I hope you find something, some joy in thinking about what that song is about. I can't think of anything else. I think I said all the words. I didn't say all the words. There's outtakes after the part where I say bye. So until you see me again, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, I hope you are blessed. Bye. Okay, I found my pan, but yeah, before I do that, I'm sitting right in front of the open door. Oh my goodness, I am telling y'all, I said it before, my hair is like my one part of my body that doesn't betray me when I eat too much or too often. It doesn't always look like this, you know, like Frankenstein's monster's bride, but it's almost always up. I need a different style. I need a style. If you guys know of anything, don't be surprised if one day I come on here and my hair is gone. I have not been cold since 1993. My husband reminded me today of all the things that God redeemed. I am his favorite, my husband's favorite. Speaking of redeemed, I can't pick this up out of here. Check that out. Oh my gosh, there's fuzzies already flying in the air. Can you see them? They're out to get me. Look, I don't know if you can see them. That's a big old band full of feathers. I'm gonna make me a new pillow. Yes, sir. I'm gonna redeem me a feather pillow, so I'll have something to cry my huge head to sleep on at night. Boy, I love my husband so much. I've distressed him. Just kidding. A little bit. Okay, I still have a little dirt in this. I did wipe it out. I thought I got it all out. That was loud. Until you see me again, I always forget. Still, I don't see you. You see me. Hi! I don't know what I'm gonna say. I gotta... Hey, y'all! Can you come push me again? Isn't that special? Well, isn't that special? How about that? You like that?
She's special.